Activated, because sometimes these recordings do as they do. All right, greetings. So, what I want to talk about today. This is a weird concept to a lot of people, but let me throw the words out there. Strategic seasonal unemployment. What? Why would you want to be unemployed? I'll get into that. This is Freedom Phil. Like, subscribe, and always turn up the video speed. Why do I say that? Because you watch the video faster. Why wouldn't you? 1.75. Let's get into it. And I'm always sub-whoring. Hit the like and the sub. I remember back in the day, there were guys that worked in certain forms of construction, or, people that worked in the cleaning industry, tourist industry, that there was seasonal unemployment. And a lot of people have this image of unemployment as, well, oh God, we're making half of what we do on the government. And people are like, well, you shouldn't live off the government. The government is living off you. If you're a working class person, they are living off you. You shouldn't feel bad about getting your money back. In fact, the truth is most people never pay taxes that are working class, because if their kids are going to school, go look at that $10,000 to $15,000 bill for that per year, by the way, times 13 years. Add up all the benefits the average person gets, and we just print money. To simplify it, we just print money to pay the bills in America. But then it comes back to you, individual who's actually intelligent and knows how to save their money, on how you basically pay for everything. So the reason you need to work as much as you do, for the most part, as I've covered many times, is because you spend more money than you realistically have. And why do you do that for the most part? No offense, ladies, it's you. Because guys want to impress you, or you want a new vehicle. And sometimes you run into the guy who's just bad with money. You'll see times where women are highly responsible with their money and the budgeting, and other times you'll see the guy's ridiculous. But most of it's all peacocking, either for the opposite sex or to improve to your neighbors that you're vastly better than them because look at our things. But imagine for a second you're not stuck in that mindset, that middle schooler mindset, and that you actually have what a lot of old people have, where they've got a paid off house, they have a new reliable vehicle, but they have an old vehicle they drive around town, something they can turn a wrench on. This is something, it's like a master's tip that most people just never figure out, never understand. And I just got to point something out about this. When all you have left to pay is effectively what? Insurance for your house, utilities, and taxes, food, a little bit of gas, dirt cheap insurance, because if you have an older vehicle, life doesn't cost as much as you think. You can, like the average person, I can get it down to $2,500 to $5,000 a year at the lowest. Assuming this place was rented out, it'd be paying for itself and it would be not a problem for me. But when you get down to the basic numbers of average person, probably under $10,000 a year, and then you figure in healthcare somewhere in that range, you don't need to work year round to achieve that. And that's where I remember I used to see these people that they would basically, they'd work concrete. And then during the summer months, that concrete truck was running all the time. Winter, concrete wasn't running. And they just collect unemployment for 5 months of the year. And then the other one is that like seasonal work, like tourist industry, driving like farm truck or something like that. Like even then, farm truck, you do that, you make okay money, but I don't know. After you're doing OTR, I just look at doing farm work, farm truck driving. It's just like, okay, so you want me to do this job for 14 hours a day for peanuts, effectively. As we're driving OTR, I'm in a really comfortable truck and making $45 to $50 an hour. But the problem with OTR is when you start working for a company, they want you there 365 days a week. They want that you ready to rock and roll any day of the week. And I dig that when I'm actually out in the machine. But all the same, if you had all your bills paid and you had nothing to really worry about, I could see someone working strategically for part of the year, and then, oh, we're laid off, can't find a decent job. I mean, how many of you guys remember the Obama era? The year and a half of unemployment. And by the way, I didn't feel fucking bad at all. I got about 35,000 back. And, people were like, well, you go sponge on the government. Really? I paid about 12,000 a year in taxes. Back in that. Let me put that in perspective for all you. I paid more in taxes in 4 years than in the 6 years it took me to pay off my house. When I took that garbage job, I was basically paying like 12.5, probably a little more than that actually. When I was trucking, I paid into the system. So like when I was doing OT, I paid massively into the system. So from my perspective, this idea that you, individual, should feel bad about getting any money back, that's a mind trick they've done on you. You pay into the system. Why shouldn't the system pay back to you? I mean, there's a reasonable amount of taxes you should pay for the roads, the schools, and by the way, fuck the schools. The schools are an abortion. That they just need to be revamped. The basics, the police, the prisons, to keep things normal. And even in some of these Democrat cities, not to go political here, but are they really serving the needs of the people? You got people being let out of jail, instantly. Oh, that was under $1,000. Okay, walk free. And the next day, if not the same day, that person's doing the same thing at another store. Like, you should never feel bad about getting your money back from the government. And that's where it's like strategically unemployed seasonally. And, like if you were debt free, you got a cheap piece of land in an RV, or you paid off your house and it's just the basics. I personally recommend the cheap piece of land with an RV. And the reason for that is that you can get the bills so ridiculously low. Like so low where it's like, fuck, my property on the West Coast is, I paid 50 grand for it, but we're talking $60, under $60 per month for HOA plus taxes. That's pretty damn good. Now you drop an RV on something like that, and then you're only working seasonally. I mean, you wouldn't even have to work probably more than 2 months to be perfectly comfortable for the whole year. And that's the thing about it. The lower you get your bills, the less you need that job. So then also comes in the concept of the 1099 superior race, which I know a lot of people, basically they're like, well, they don't have to be a business owner. They don't really teach that shit, by the way. They don't want you becoming a business owner. They want you being part of a corporation. That way they can take your money and use it, say, oh, we're buying you healthcare. Really, we're just paying way too much. We're taking way more of your money, plus the part we match. And the thing is that if you have a good trade, you have a skill, like let's say you're a plumber or electrician, you know how to do drywall. Maybe you work, you can charge $50 a mow for a lawn these days in a lot of places. There's not a lot of people that want to do it. Or if you undercut, if you got the skills and you undercut some of your competition, yeah, I'll do it for 40. And, then the professionals are pissed. It's like, yeah, whatever. Hey, But yeah, you work seasonally and then you make more than enough money and you're just like, fuck it. You're not working the rest of the year. And this even kind of goes into another topic that I want to talk about. And people would say, why do you like bumming change? For those that are like, I can't believe you do that. And it's like, no. There's a few reasons for it. And I'll cover that video in a bit. So anyhow, peace. Don't care. I was doing a recording. Some people talking, but no one's really saying nothing. All right, later.